Hi, my name is Max, and I'll be introducing the topic Satellite-Enabled Supply Chain Visibility. So, what is it? Satellite-enabled supply chain visibility uses satellite-based Internet of Things technologies, Earth observation imagery, and low Earth orbit constellations to give companies real-time, global end-to-end tracking of goods, infrastructure, and possible risks. Even in places where cellular networks fail, it closes gaps in supply chain visibility, strengthens resilience, and enables smarter, faster logistic decisions. Space technology provides real-time visibility into supply chain and transportation, while generating vast amount of data that enable businesses to unlock valuable efficiencies and insights. This technology relies on the flow of low-latency data. First, sensors and trackers on assets collect the data, which is then transmitted to satellites. Those satellites then relay the data to receivers on the ground and into different cloud platforms. We can then view through dashboards the real-time data. So what are the main features? The first is satellite IoT. This expands on the capabilities of traditional IoT by greatly increasing coverage and connectivity. Satellite IoT capabilities are leveraged by using devices to track containers, vehicles, or equipment which send location and condition data such as temperature, humidity, or physical shocks directly to satellites. This technology is important especially in remote areas or where infrastructure is limited. Uses include real-time agricultural monitoring and maritime navigation. The next is low Earth orbit constellations. These are low Earth orbit satellites which provide fast, low latency data transmission for real-time tracking across oceans, deserts, and remote regions. An example of this is Starlink, which provides satellite telecommunications. The last one is Earth observation satellites. These provide high-resolution optical imagery which monitor things such as ports, ships, and maritime routes, roads, crop health, infrastructure, and environmental conditions for sustainability purposes. So what is the overall purpose and why are these satellites used? Let's look at some of the benefits. The first is that satellites close visibility gaps where land-based networks such as cellular or Wi-Fi are unavailable or unreliable, such as oceans, deserts, or other remote areas, and across borders. It also helps to detect and mitigate different operational risks, such as port congestion, route disruptions, or infrastructure damage. Companies can then reroute or reschedule and act to resolve the problems faster. It can also help to predict time and temperature-sensitive cargo, such as pharmaceuticals or food, by continuously monitoring environmental conditions and alerting on problems. Satellites can also help with environmental compliance and ESG reporting by verifying sourcing, land use changes, and supply practices with satellite-derived evidence. For example, if a company purchases soybeans from Brazil, it can identify the current locations of the fields supplying those crops and determine whether those same fields were recently part of a rainforest using technology such as synthetic aperture radar. The next part I'll discuss is growth statistics and trends. Economic growth from satellite-aided supply chains is expected to grow substantially. End-to-end applications in supply chains are driving rapid expansion of the space economy. Lower costs and greater access to space-enabled technologies is projected to grow the space economy from roughly $630 billion in 2023 to $1.8 trillion by 2035. This growth is happening faster than the growth of global GDP, with supply chain and transportation being a key sector which is driving growth. Applying space technologies in this sector is expected to generate $410 billion in revenue by 2035, with a growth rate of 14% per annum. By 2035, it is expected that there will be over 6.4 billion space-connected devices compared to only 3 billion in 2024. It is also expected that there will be approximately 140 billion IoT-connected sensors compared to only 36 billion in 2024. So what are some of the trends driving this popularity? So first is a shift towards greater use of low Earth orbit architecture, which involves deploying thousands of small satellites rather than a few large expensive ones. This approach enhances service resilience, so if one of the satellites fail, the network remains working. These satellite constellations are being used due to lower costs, faster deployment, near global coverage, and accounts for more than half of the small satellite market in 2025. Another trend is the rise of AI and autonomous agents. These agents can access real-time data to make corrective decisions without a person's approval. An example of this is an AI agent monitoring port congestion via satellite imagery, being able to autonomously reroute a vessel. Popularity has also been driven by demands for greater supply chain resilience, especially after COVID and the continuing geopolitical issues. I'll now pass you on to our next speaker who will discuss the history of the technology and a timeline of its development.
Thank you, Max. I'm going to talk about the history of satellite-enabled supply chain visibility. Before 2000, there were basically no real-time tracking. Companies didn't really know where their goods were, and visibility was very limited. They also depended a lot on manual updates. Then from 2000 to 2010, GPS tracking started to be used. This helped companies get basic location data, and we also saw early digital tracking systems. From 2010 to 2020, things improved quite a bit. With IoT and cloud systems, data sharing became much easier, and companies could monitor shipments better. And from 2020 until now, satellite technology has become more important. Companies can now track goods globally in real time. This also helps with better decisions and faster responses. So that's how the technology developed. And now I will explain how it actually works. As you can see, the process is actually quite simple. First, sensors or devices are put on goods or containers. These collect data like location and condition. Then the data is sent through satellites. This works over long distances, and is really useful in places like oceans or remote areas. After that, the data goes into a platform. The system stores and processes the data, and connects it to digital systems. Finally, companies can see everything in real time. They can track where goods are and what condition they are in, and respond quickly if something goes wrong. So that is how it works. And now let's look at why it actually matters. So why this technology important? First, it improves visibility. Companies can clearly see where their goods are, so there's less uncertainty. Second, it helps companies respond faster. Problems can be found earlier, and delays can be handled more quickly. Third, it supports better decisions. With real-time data, managers can plan better and react more confidently. And finally, it allows global tracking. It works in remote areas and at sea, where normal systems don't work very well. So overall, this technology makes supply chain more efficient and more reliable. Thank you. I will finish my part. Let me handle this to Rabari.
Today I will discuss market niches. First of all, this technology is especially valuable in areas where mobile or terrestrial networks are unavailable, enabling businesses to maintain visibility and control over assets in remote environment. Information can be obtained using these three technologies: global real-time tracking, satellite IoT sensors, and always-on connectivity. After that, main market niches, maritime and shipping. There are no mobile networks when the ships are crossing the sea, so the company receive all the information about where they are, which the route are taking, and whether the containers are safe or not through a satellite system, and makes decisions to improve delivery accuracy. Second, cold chain logistics. This includes items like medicine, fruit, vegetables, etc., which need to be kept cool or at a certain temperature during transport and storage. Therefore, with the help of satellite-enabled sensors, the company ensures whether the location and temperature of the goods are correct or not, so that the goods spoil less and the foods and medicine remain safe. Remote mining, when work is being done or goods are being transported in areas like deserts and forests. This technology tracks where the machines are, how far the trucks have reached, and provides information to the company. And after that, high value assets, for example, car, machinery, medical equipment, cargo, which are at high risk of theft. To reduce this risk and to get special security, with the help of this technology, the company can see where the car is, where the machine is at any time. And after that, technology offers business customers so first real-time data. The company gets precise information where the truck or ship is and what condition it is in, and the estimated times becoming more accurate. Second, risk control. For example, if there is an attempt to steal traffic on the road, the company receives an alert with the satellite system. The company takes immediate actions, thereby reducing costs and losses. And after that, smart operations. With the help of this technology, the company can plan routes, communicate quickly with teams, and reduce waiting times, making the company's work smarter, easier, and faster. Lower cost of holding stock. Since the company is sure when their goods will arrive, there is no need for additional buffer stock, which saves space in the godown and also saves money and also saves time. And after that, technology offers individual customers so first real-time tracking. If a customer has a order an item, they can use technology to see where it is and what its status is, and as a result, their worries are reduced. And second, exact delivery time. With the help of satellite data and AI, as well as taking into account obstacles like weather and traffic along the way, the company provides customers with an accurate delivery. And third, trust. With the help of this technology, the customer gets complete information about his goods. Therefore, the trust between the companies and customers are increases. And after that, quality assurance of goods. Using satellite enable and sensors, the location and temperature of the goods are monitored and safe and fresh product reach the customers. Thank you.
And now I will explain the key features and services of satellite-enabled supply chain visibility. The first one of the most important features is real-time checking. With the help of satellites, companies can track their goods anytime and anywhere in the world. This includes the remote areas such as oceans or rural regions where there is no mobile or internet connection. Another feature is that it works in the remote area. Unlike traditional system, satellite technology does not depend on ground network, so it can provide a continuous checking without interruption. And finally, it provides end-to-end visibility. This means companies can see the full journey of the product from the starting point to the final delivery. This helps them manage the entire supply chain more clearly. In this slide, I will talk about the monitoring and the control. One important feature is condition monitoring. Using the sensors, company can check temperature, humidity, and movement in real time. This is especially important for products like food and medicine that require specific conditions. In addition, the system provides real-time alerts. For example, company will be notified if there is a delay or road change or any unusual activity during transport. There is also security monitoring. If a shipment is opened unexpectedly or moved in the wrong direction, the system can detect it and send an alert. This helps reduce risk such as theft or damage. And next slide, I will talk about advanced feature. Satellite-enabled system also include more advanced features. One of these is predictive analytics. By using data, the system can predict possible delays or disruptions such as bad weather or traffic problem. This helps companies take action early instead of reacting later. Another feature is data-driven decision making. Because companies receive real-time data, they can make faster and better decisions. Some systems also support two-way communication. This means company can not only receive information but also send instructions back to the devices or access. This improves control and flexibility in operation. And next slide, I will talk about services. Uh, for businesses, in terms of services, this technology provides several benefits for businesses. First, it supports supply chain optimization. A company can improve their routes, reduce delays, and use resources more efficiently. It also helps with inventory and fleet management because the business should always have updated information about their goods and vehicle. Another important service is risk reduction. With better monitoring and alerts, companies can reduce losses, damage, and delays. Finally, it supports compliance and reporting. All the data is recorded, which help companies meet regulation and keep accurate records. And next slide, I will talk about the customer value. For customers, this feature also creates clear benefits. First, customer can enjoy real-time order check-in so they always know where their products are. Second, the technology leads to the more reliable delivery with fewer delays. It also helps ensure better product quality, especially for sensitive goods. Overall, satellite-enabled supply chain visibility provides strong features and services that improve both business operation and customer experience. And my partner will continue next part.
Thank you, Kang, for describing about the features and services of satellite technology. Now, I will present a real-world case study to show how satellite-enabled supply chain visibility works in practice. The example I have chosen is Mars, which is one of the world's largest container shipping companies. It operates more than 700 vessels and handles a significant portion of global routes. However, before adopting satellite-enabled supply chain systems, Mars faced a lot of challenges, especially during ocean transportation. One of the major problems was limited visibility. Once a shipment was at sea, it became very difficult to track its exact location in real time. This created uncertainty in delivery times, and delays often happened without clear expectations. As a result, it was difficult for the company to plan efficiently and also to communicate with their accurate information to customers. So overall, the lack of real visibility created both operational and customer service challenges. To solve these problems, Mars implemented satellite-enabled supply chain tracking systems. This technology allows continuous monitoring of vessels even in remote ocean areas where traditional GPS and mobile networks are not reliable. The systems works by integrating satellite communications with IoT sensors and digital platforms. These sensors collect real-time data such as location, movement, and even environmental conditions like temperature. This data is then transmitted via satellite and processed without any difficulties through digital platforms, which provide real-time visibility across the supply chain. So instead of having limited or delayed information, Mars can now monitor shipments continuously and accurately. This research a major shift from traditional tracking methods to more advanced data-driven systems. As a result of implementing this technology, several important improvements were achieved. First, Merge gain real-time visibility of vessel locations and shipment status. This means that always know where their cargo is, even in the middle of the ocean. Second, decision-making become much faster and more proactive. Instead of reacting after delay occurs, they can now identify potential disruptions early and take action. For example, they can adjust routes or schedules to avoid delays caused by weather or port congestion. Third, the route planning and delay management improved significantly, which reduce inefficiencies in operations. Finally, their improvements also enhanced customer satisfaction because customers now receive more accurate and timely updates about their shipments. So overall, the technology improved both operational performance and service quality. This case study provides several important lessons for modern supply chains. First, real-time visibility plays a critical role in reducing uncertainty and improving planning accuracy. Secondly, data-driven decision-making allows companies to respond more quickly and effectively to disruption. Third, investing in technologies such as satellite systems and IoT can significantly improve supply chain resilience. And finally, this case clearly shows that end-to-end visibility is no longer optional. It has become essential for managing complex global supply chains. So, in conclusion, Matt's example demonstrates how technology can transform traditional logistics into a more different, efficient, responsive, and reliant system.
Today I will talk about the case study on the satellite technology in the fish supply chain. My presentation will focus on the three parts. First, the case overview. Second, the possible problem of the technology. And third, the limitation and the lessons we can learn. First, let me introduce the case. This case is about a company called Number 8. According to the article, Number 8 is the Satellite Imagery, GPS, IoT, and blockchain in the fish supply chain. The main goal is to improve visibility, traceability, and resilience in the supply chain. In simple words, the company want to help people see what's happening in the supply chain more clearly and respond better to the problems. In the traditional fish supply chain, there are many problems. For example, fish often spend a lot of time and money looking for fish. They may not have enough weather information. Prices are not always fair to clear. Also, demand is unsustainable, especially during COVID-19. The article explained that the sustainable technology can help fish find fishing zone, get weather and sea information, and track fishing boats. So in theory, this technology can improve efficiency and reduce some risks. However, this does not mean the technology is perfect. Now I want to talk about the plausible problem. The first problem is that data may be visible but not truly usable. Certain technology can prove a lot of information, but information alone is not enough. If fishers do not have a good device than the internet or digital skills, they may not use the data well. So the system may look advanced, but in real life, it may not help enough. The second problem is that this technology cannot slow marketing demand security. So then the technology can help fish find fishing faster, but it cannot make customer buy more fish. During COVID-19, people changed their buying habits, marketing, and effect, and demand became unsustainable. So even if fisher catch fish more efficiently, they may still face sale problems. The third problem is that the system depends on other technologies. Sustainable technology does not work alone. It needs GPS, IoT devices, mobile apps, and platform systems. If one part fails, the whole system becomes weaker. This means the technology needs strong support from other tools and systems. The first problem is that it can be hard to use in low-income and informal supply chain. Many fishers in developing countries may have limited money, limited training, and limited access to technology. Because of this, the system may be difficult to introduce on a large scale. So the technology may fail not because the idea is wrong, but because the environment is not ready. Next, I will talk about the limitations and lessons. One important limitation is that certain technology can only solve some supply chain problems. It may improve upstream visibility such as fishing zoo, boat tracking, and weather information, but it does not fully solve price problem, demand problems, or coordination. A problem across the whole supply chain. Other limitation is the success depends on the infrastructure, digital platforms, and user adoption. If the instruction is weak or if people do not want to use the system, the benefits will be limited. So technology alone is not enough. From the case, we can learn several lessons. First, technology is not panicky. It cannot fix a very problem in the supply chain. Second, better visibility does not always mean better results. A company may see more information, but it still needs to design good coordination and strong marketing support. Third, technology must fit local conditions. When companies use a digital tool in the developing countries, they must think about cost, training, infrastructure, and usability. To include, this case showed the satellite technology can bring value to the fishing supply chain that can be improved visibility and support better tracking, but in traditional use it still has many limited. Its success depends not only on the technology itself, but also on one people system and the local environment.
To conclude, satellite-enabled supply chain visibility is fundamentally transforming how global supply chain operates today. So throughout this presentation, we have seen how this technology uses satellite, Internet of Things devices and data platforms to provide real-time, end-to-end tracking of goods. So what makes it especially valuable is its ability to work even in remote and ocean regions where traditional networks like GPS and cellular systems are limited. So this level of visibility helps organization reduce uncertainty and gain better control over their operations, and companies can identify problems earlier in response to faster to disruptions and make more informed data-driven decisions. As a result, it improves efficiency, enhances risk management, and strengthens overall supply chain resilience. We also looked at at the real world applications such as the Marks case, which showed how real-time visibility can improve route planning, reduce delays, and increase customer satisfaction. This highlights that the benefits are not just theoretical but already being realized in practice. However, it is important to recognize that this technology is not a complete solution on its own. While visibility is a powerful tool, it does not automatically solve challenges like demand, uncertainty, or coordination issues. Its success depends on proper integration with systems infrastructure and user adoption. In conclusion, satellite-enabled visibility is becoming a
critical competitive advantage in modern logistics. As the space economy continues to grow, this technology will play an even bigger role in shaping smarter, faster, and more resilient supply chains in the future. So the key takeaways from these presentations highlights why satellite-enabled visibility is becoming so important in modern supply chains. First, real-time visibility is a major advantage. It allows organizations to track goods at every stage of the journey, which improves transparency and gives managers better control over operations. That directly supports faster and more accurate decision making. Second, the ability to respond quickly to disruption is critical. With real-time data, companies can identify delays, risks, or issues early and take immediate actions. This reduces losses and improves overall supply chain performance. Another important takeaway is efficiency. Satellite-enabled systems help optimize routes, improve inventory management, and reduce unnecessary delays. This not only lowers costs but also increases operational effectiveness. From a customer perspective, this technology adds significant value. Customer benefit from real-time tracking, more reliable delivery times, and greater trust in the supply chain. However, one key insight is that visibility alone is not enough. While it provides valuable information, the real benefits come from organizations integrate this data into their system and uses it effectively for decision making. So overall, the main message is that satellite enables visibility is not just a good technological improvement. It is becoming an essential capability for organizations that want to stay in a competitive market in an increasingly complex and global supply chain environment.